Hello, this is Susan BetzJitomir, everybody's lawyer, and we're going to talk today about what to do when you go to court or what happens when you go to court. So, when you go to court, you should have a lawyer, at least consult with a lawyer before you go to court, because if you've never been there before, and even if you have, there's a lot of legal terms thrown around, you're not going to know what's going on. So, you really should. I tell people lawyers save money, we don't cost money, because if you make mistakes, it can be very costly. So when you go to court, what's going to happen is usually you'll be waiting outside the courtroom, and then your case will be called in. Make sure that if you are there, you check in with the deputy or the bailiff, because if they mark that you're not there, you could lose by default even though you were there. So you make sure you check in with the deputy or the bailiff, the person in uniform who's asking everybody who they are. Sometimes you can go in the courtroom and sit down and wait, make sure you don't miss anything. So you can ask if you can do that, and sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes the answer is no. By law, most courtrooms are open courtrooms, and you can go in and sit and watch. But if they don't have a lot of room in the courtroom, they might not let you do that for safety or crowd reasons, fire marshal reasons, not necessarily because they're trying to keep you out of the courtroom. But make sure that you check in. Once you get in there, you and your lawyer are going to sit usually at a table, not a desk, it's usually a table. And if your lawyer is with you, you are paying them to talk for you. So unless the judge asks you a direct question, do not talk at all. Do not sigh, do not roll your eyes, do not glare at the other person. Judges take notice of this and they really don't like it. A courtroom is a professional setting and they expect you to behave like a person who is settling their case in a civilized manner, which is what a courtroom is for. And so acting out in the courtroom will not impress anybody and in fact may greatly prejudice your case. If the judge asks you a direct question, you can answer it. But I always tell my clients to look at me first and see whether or not they should answer it, because sometimes I want to answer the question for them. And so that's a good thing to do. And often the first time you go to court, not a whole lot's going to happen. The first time you go to court, it's not going to be a trial. Probably the second, third, or fourth time you go to court, it's not going to be a trial. When there's going to be a trial, your attorney will let you know. You will prepare by getting witnesses. You'll talk about what the case is and what your strategy is. So don't think the very first time you go to court, oh my goodness, everything's going to be over and you're going to get to talk to the judge, because probably that's not the case. So make sure you talk to your attorney beforehand. Keep your attorney up to date on what your phone number and your address is. I know that sounds simple, but you'd be surprised how many people don't. And make sure that your attorney knows anything that happens. Like if you and your soon-to-be ex-spouse get back together, you probably want to let your attorney know. If you and the person you're suing come to a deal as to how much money is owed either way, let your attorney know. If something goes wrong, let your attorney know. That doesn't mean you have to call them every day with every detail of everything that happens, but if something major happens, let them know. Otherwise, just keep a log and bring that to them for your appointments. Okay, everybody have a good day.